for the top story tonight, trying to get the truth in the U.S. attorneys' controversy. It isn't easy. The left-wing press continues to say the Bush administration fired the attorneys because they were pursuing corruption cases against Republicans. If that is true, that could bring down President Bush. But there's no evidence of that, despite propaganda from people like New York Times columnist Frank Rich, a notorious Bush hater. Rich writes, quote, Karl Rove has publicly suggested that prosecutor Carol Lam got the axe because she would not commit resources to prosecute immigration offenses. That is false. But is it? Joining us now from Washington, Jonathan Turley, teaches law at George Washington University. You know, you're all over the radio today talking about these attorneys things, so I'm going to hold you to account. Now, we have a bunch of memos from the Attorney General's office, Deputy Attorney General, Chief of Staff to Alberto Gonzales, all saying, and Dianne Feinstein, the liberal senator from California, all saying Carol Lam wouldn't aggressively pursue immigration cases and gun cases, gun felonies. The woman wouldn't do it, all right? Now, Frank Rich uses a memo from a guy named William Michella, writing back to Feinstein, who Michella sticks up for Lam, but then Michella testifies, the same guy, in front of a House subcommittee, March 6, 2007, just a couple of weeks ago, quote, Carol Lam's gun prosecutions were at the bottom of the list. Quite frankly, her immigration numbers in border district didn't stack up. What say you?
Well, I think there was a legitimate issue in terms of immigration enforcement. The administration was not happy with her, but that's not really what's driving this crisis.
Wait, let's walk through it. Okay, so you, based upon your research, the factor based upon its research, comes to the conclusion that in Carol Lam's case, one of the 8, there is a legitimate concern on the part of Alberto Gonzales and the rest of the Justice Department about her performance. It can be debated. Maybe they're wrong. But there's a legitimate concern that's on the record. Correct?
Well, that's certainly legitimate for the administration to say we want you to rack up greater numbers.
Okay,
sure.
So right here we knock 1 out of the 8 out of the box, and we're going to knock the other 7 out of the box.
Well, I don't know if it knocks it out of the box entirely. I mean, the fact is that Carol Lam had great achievement on other issues, including corruption cases.
She got Duke Cunningham sentenced to a gazillion years, and I applaud her for that.
Which made her one of the best-known U.S. attorneys in the country.
That's fine. But if she's got a paper trail that she's not doing immigration and gun cases, there's at least a debate here rather than charges that this is a political cover-up. That's what I'm trying to get at. Now,
but I think that Bill, but what's driving the
Well, I don't want to. No, you get your last thing on Lam out. Go ahead.
Well, it's only that what's driving the controversy is not just the contradictions that the administration has made, but there's questions of whether false statements have been made to Congress about the basis for all these firings. And it does look like Congress is getting traction. You're about to mention Goodling, I believe.
Yes.
And that's going to add to that process.
Okay. Monica Goodling is the liaison between Attorney General Gonzales and the White House. She is called upon to testify in front of the Senate. All right? She's taken a Fifth Amendment saying, I'm not going to say anything, I'm going to go up there and get my Fifth Amendment rights. Now, if you were in the same position, you would do it, and I would do it too. And you know why? 2 words. You know what the 2 words are. You want to say them or you want me?
Go ahead.
No, you want to say them? You know what they are. 2 words.
What are they?
It's a name. Go ahead. You know what the name is.
I couldn't imagine.
Scooter Libby.
Well, you see, that's a bad thing to choose because he's a convicted felon.
Yeah. But he got convicted because he went in and he talked about a situation that wasn't even defined as a crime, and apparently he lied about it. So why would Monica Goodling or Jonathan Turley or Bill O'Reilly or anybody in their right mind go up and testify about anything?
You know, that's like saying I'm not going to file with the IRS because Capone got nailed.
No, you don't have to testify.
You can file with... Well, the point, Bill, is that you don't have to fear from testifying truthfully. What she said is that I don't think I can testify without potentially incriminating myself.
Because she doesn't want to say anything that could put her in Scooter Libby's position.
You know, Bill, she may be the first sitting Justice Department official ever to invoke the Fifth. I don't remember any, but she may have
You would have done that. If you were representing her, you would have told her to do the same
No, I would
thing.
not.
Yes, you would.
No, I would not.
She'd be crazy to go up there. She doesn't know what they're going to ask. Libby may go to jail. He didn't know what he was talking about when he got dragged in there.
The only way that I would advise a client like that to take the Fifth is that if she could plausibly be accused of crimes. And if that's the case, then it has nothing to do with messing up in testimony.
I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that that anybody... Knock the music off. I got another question for him. I don't believe that for a second. And when you think about it, if you were representing her, you say, look, take the Fifth. Don't put yourself in a living position.
Kyle Sampson is going to testify, and they're going to put a virtual toe tag on that guy before he sits in the chair.
Well, maybe
and
so.
He's not going to take the Fifth.
There's nobody... I wouldn't ever, because I don't know where they're coming from or what they're going to throw at me. But I think there's something that you and I do agree upon. Attorney General Gonzales should look the country in the eye and explain each one of these firings for the good of the nation. You agree with that?
Oh, I think that's true, and I got to tell you, I don't understand what will be worse for the administration if Gonzales is forced out or if he remains, because he's positively radioactive right now on Capitol Hill.
He is, but it's a press-driven story. Remember that.
But it's not entirely, Bill.
Only 8% of Americans.
Fouled this up.